In the shadowed heart of Detroit, a predator stalked the desolate streets, leaving a trail of terror that would haunt the city forever. Benjamin Thomas Atkins, known to the world as the Woodward Corridor Killer, was a name whispered in dread. Between December 1991 and August 1992, this enigmatic figure unleashed a reign of horror, claiming the lives of 11 women in a chilling spree of murder, torture, and rape. Each act was a descent into darkness, each victim a tragic echo of a city's forgotten souls. Born on August 26, 1968, in the decaying fringes of Detroit, Benjamin, called Tony by those who knew him, emerged from a world steeped in despair. His childhood was a crucible of suffering, a poor neighborhood, parents enslaved by drugs and alcohol, and a father who vanished soon after his birth. By 19, his mother abandoned him, casting young Tony into the cold embrace of an orphanage. There, the horrors multiplied. Physical assaults from other children, and at the tender age of 10, a brutal rape by an employee shattered his innocence. For 5 years, he endured relentless sexual harassment until he fled, seeking refuge with his mother, only to discover her new life as a prostitute. The sight of her with clients seared into his psyche, planting seeds of rage that would later bloom into unspeakable violence. By the late 1980s, Atkins was adrift, a ghost on the streets, consumed by drug addiction and scraping by on meager wages from low-skill jobs. He haunted homeless shelters and prowled the underbelly of Detroit, mingling with pimps and prostitutes. To those who met him, he was a paradox. Charming yet volatile, his charm curdling into misogyny when liquor or drugs took hold. Beneath the surface, a storm was brewing, a hatred so profound it would soon erupt in a spree of unimaginable cruelty. The murders began in the shadows of 1991, each one a calculated descent into depravity. Atkins preyed on the vulnerable, young women lost to addiction or prostitution, and one middle-aged soul, Vicky Beasley Brown, whose life ended in the same brutal fashion. He lured them to abandoned buildings, places where hope had long since withered. There, he unleashed his fury, sexually assaulting and strangling his victims, leaving their bodies to rot in the city's forgotten corners. Some lay undiscovered for months, their silent screams swallowed by the decay of Detroit's Woodward Corridor. The first body surfaced on December 14, 1991. 31-year-old Debbie Ann Friday, missing since December 8th, her life snuffed out in a grim tableau of violence. Days later, on December 30th, 26-year-old Bertha Jean Mason was found, last seen stepping into a store, never to return. January 3rd, 1992, brought the grim discovery of 36-year-old Patricia Cannon George during the demolition of an abandoned house, her name already on a wanted list from a drug den bust. By January 25th, 39-year-old Vicky Truelove joined the toll, her body bearing the same marks of sexual assault and strangulation. Atkins's shadow loomed larger with each kill. On February 17th, a chilling find at the former Monterey Hotel in Highland Park revealed 3 bodies in separate rooms. 34-year-old Valerie Chalk, 23-year-old Juanita Hardy, and an unidentified woman. Her identity a mystery until forensic genealogy unveiled her in 2024. Her name guarded by her family's grief. April brought more horror. 38-year-old Brenda Mitchell, missing with her 2 children, found nearly naked with a scarf coiled around her neck, her death initially mistaken for an overdose. Days later, on April 15th, the decomposed remains of 43-year-old Vicky Beasley Brown emerged, last seen alive on March 25th. By June 15th, 40-year-old Joanne O'Rourke joined the grim roster. The city held its breath, but Atkins was a phantom, slipping through the cracks. In January 1992, police detained him in an abandoned building, but with no evidence to tie him to the murders, he walked free, his dark work unfinished. It wasn't until August 21st, 1992, that fate intervened. Darlene Saunders, a 34-year-old survivor of Atkins's assault from October 1991, spotted him on a Detroit street. Her courage led to his arrest on rape charges, the first crack in his facade. At first, Atkins denied everything, weaving lies about his sexuality to throw off investigators. But the police had crafted a psychological profile of the killer, a portrait that mirrored the man before them. After 12 grueling hours of interrogation, the dam broke. Atkins confessed to 11 murders, his voice cold as he recounted the victims' appearances, their clothing, their final moments. He led police to the bodies of his last two victims, 21-year-old Osinena Waymer and 29-year-old Latanya Shawanda Smith, their deaths unlinked to the spree until his chilling revelations. His motive, a seething hatred for prostitutes, women he lured with promises of drugs, alcohol, and payment, only to betray them in abandoned houses where their screams went unheard. The trial, beginning in January 1994, was a spectacle of grief and rage. Over 150 witnesses, including the victims' families, faced Atkins in court, their testimonies a chorus of loss. Atkins, detached and vacant, sat through the proceedings, occasionally claiming insanity to dodge accountability. His lawyer pleaded for mercy, citing the horrors of his childhood, abuse, trauma, and addiction that twisted his mind. But the jury saw only the monster, not the broken boy. After 4 months and 3 days of deliberation, they delivered their verdict in April 1994. Guilty. Several life sentences sealed his fate. Imprisoned at the Charles Egeler Reception and Guidance Center in Jackson, Atkins's health unraveled. Transferred to Duane Waters Hospital, he succumbed to an AIDS-related illness on September 17, 1997, his death closing a chapter of terror. Yet, the scars he left on Detroit linger, a haunting reminder of the darkness that once prowled its streets.